Hey Rangers fans, have you joined the Rangers Network? If not, now's the time. It's easy and free to subscribe. Get your phones out. Text the word Rangers to 42828 to stay in touch with all the latest Rangers news. Want that again? Text the word Rangers to 42828. Go Rangers!
Welcome to this week's episode of Inside Rangers Football. I'm your host, Brant Freeman. Alongside me, Smithson Valley head coach Larry Hill. The Rangers' two-game losing streak is over emphatically as Smithson Valley had a convincing 65-6 win over East Central this past Friday. Coach, you look back at the game, dominant both sides of the football. You had a special teams touchdown. You were able to work in almost everybody on the roster as well on Friday. You really didn't leave many boxes unchecked.
Yeah, you know, you hope to get some games like that. It doesn't always work out in 27-6A, and I'm a little surprised still that it worked out against that team. Going in, we felt like it'd be a dogfight to the end, but I think you're right. I think it was a game where we clicked in a lot of areas. You know, sometimes the way the game goes, you click on defense or on special teams or on offense, but putting it all together and getting a complete game in every area is rare. And we're proud to get it going into the open week. And as you said, everybody that was dressed and was healthy enough to play, we got a chance to get them all in the game.
You had a tough time establishing the run the previous two games. Your opponents had a lot to do with that, playing round rock and steel. But you could tell early in the game against East Central how much you wanted to commit to running the football, and you end up with 363 yards rushing. That was a season high, and you did it without having a 100-yard rusher, so the wealth was spread. How refreshing was it to see the running game the way that it played out on Friday?
Well, you know, it's an old axiom in football. Running the ball and stopping the run is a big key to winning. And you mentioned we've been a little erratic in our run game thus far this year. So it was a real priority going into the game. And we were able to do that. As you said, we had a bunch of guys 80, 90 yards rushing, not necessarily one guy doing it all. And I think that makes you tougher to defend when you mix in the passing game.
One of those guys was Jaden Deaton, 93 yards rushing, 40 on 15 carries, had 3 rushing touchdowns as well. He was not your starting running back at the start of the season, but he has earned that spot now, and he has run the ball very well. What has he shown you?
Well, you know, he's a great athlete. Came over from defense, was a defensive outside linebacker starter for us a year ago. We moved him there in the spring, and then just prior to our first game, he gets hurt, you know, and his heel, and so he missed a game or so, and then came back, and it's good to see him with a breakout game, several of them. He's a fast kid, physical kid, and he brings a lot to our team.
You have now a 2-2 record going into the off week. As you look at the assessment of your football team, where do you feel like things stand going into the bye?
Well, you know, we're never where you want to be totally, but, it is nice to go into the bye week with some momentum. Sometimes when you play well like we did Friday, maybe wished we didn't have an open week. Hey, man, we're on a roll. Let's get cracking here and keep going. But, I like where we're at. We still need to play better to get where we want to go, but at the midpoint, short of letting the game get away perhaps a week ago, you know, we're sitting as good as anyone. And, we need to improve our level of play during the bye week. Sometimes you want to rest and heal a little bit. Yes, we want to do that, but you also want to improve. So when we're on the field, we have to practice hard and make improvements to resume when we get back in 2 weeks.
Well, several big plays for the Rangers and a 65-point effort this past Friday against East Central. Let's take a look at a few of them.
Let's go look at them. Our first big play is a punt return. You can see we're showing a 10-man block there. Kind of got a line there indicating all 10 players showing the threat of a rush. In reality, we don't bring them all. As you can see, Ricky Rios coming off the edge, forcing the punter to get rid of it quick. The ball line drives out to our right, their left. You can see Trayvon Merrick receives the ball right there at the 50 with a lot of space. And I'll let it run. You can see picks up a few blocks, shows a great move there, one more cut, and finally gets it down to just him and the punter. He's got a two-way go, and he cuts it back and gets in the end zone. I think from the end zone you'll get an even better look. Again, the threat of the 10-man blitz. As the snap unfolds, Ricky becoming from our right as we look at it now, forcing that kick. And now we get to see the blocks a little bit. Get one there, on two blocks on our left, Trayvon's right. It allows him the alley to get up into initially. And he picks up 1, 2 more blocks. and then cuts it back against the grain, and it's down to just him and the punter, and he's got a two-way go on him, and it's going to be hard to tackle him when that happens. Big play, special teams touchdown, gets us going in the first quarter. This is a touchdown run later in the game. This is a read sweep. You can see our halfback, Cody Vicknair, going wide to the right, or Josh Adkins can keep the play going to the left, keep the ball going to the left, depending on the reaction of the defense. The way the defense reacted, you can see the hole to the left. Josh made the correct decision, has a two-way go on the safety, makes him miss, and has enough speed to get in the corner of the end zone. Well-executed play that I think you'll get a better feel for how it goes coming from the other side behind the defense. That's the player with the circle around him that we're reading. Josh's eyes are going to be on him. He's going to decide whether to give the ball to Cody or keep it himself based on his reaction. Since his reaction is up the field, as you can see, he disengages the ball and keeps it here. Great block by Davis Grotchett over here with the circle around him, cutting the outside linebacker. And then Brock Sherber and Andrew Antonelli doubling on their linebacker. And then Josh has one guy to beat, makes him miss to the outside. Well-executed play on a lot of fronts and gets us in the end zone. This is a play a little bit later in the game. We're going to feature Cody Vicknair, one of our senior running backs. Makes a tremendous move here. Starts the play to the right. Sees it bottled up a little bit. Great block there by John Perales, one of our senior fullbacks. Cody reads that block, decides to reverse his field and come out the backside away from where the play was originally designed to go. Keeps it around the left side. Junior quarterback Christian Hallam. You don't see those quarterbacks block too much. But Christian's out in front. Going to get a little nudge on the last guy. Just allows Cody to get right inside the pylon for a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Some defensive plays. I have two defensive ends. That's Colt Fullen on the left, a senior. Junior defensive end on the right, C.J. Keeler, are going to well execute some pass rush moves and combine for the sack on their quarterback. Okay. On our left side, Colt's going to go up and around, and then C.J. is going to go inside, then back up. If you keep your eye on them, you can see them executing them there. They meet at the quarterback, C.J. first, followed by Colt, combine on a big sack, both showing their athleticism. Later in the game, we're going to bluff blitz and then actually blitz two other linebackers. Junior linebacker Jacob Zuber's on the line of scrimmage, threatening the blitz, trying to draw the protection to this side of the field. He's successful. He backs out, and then Taylor Nix, a senior linebacker, at the top of the screen, and Jack Gibbons in the middle of the screen combine to blitz. One of them will come clean. In this case, it's Jack Gibbons, and you can see the tremendous hit on their quarterback, and you'll see it even more clear coming from the rear. Again, Jacob from the right, drawing the blitz or drawing the protection his way. As the play unfolds, you see Central's blocking going that way. Taylor comes off the edge, draws the running back's block. That allows Jack to come clean in the middle. Big hit on the quarterback. And those are our plays of the week.
Coach, one of the plays that I want to highlight, again, we see your two defensive ends crash in to get a sack there early in the game. Defensively, you had 8 tackles for loss on Friday, 4 sacks. You forced a turnover as well. You seemed to overwhelm East Central on the line of scrimmage throughout the entire game on Friday. How did you feel about the defense as a whole?
Well, I think what you started with was a key. I thought our front four played extremely well, defended the run well, got a lot of pressure on their passer. And anytime they can't hold that ball very long, coverage is a lot easier. And of course, that play featured Colt Fullen and C.J. Keeler, 2 of our defensive ends. But our 2 tackles played well too. Zane Nutzi, Brandon Arnold, several others that we roll in and out of there. So I think that's the key. You make them one-dimensional, and then I think it's a little easier to play defense. We only gave up 2 first downs the whole game. I've been coaching a long time. I'm not sure we've ever had a performance like that. One
of those first downs came on the 3rd play of the game too, by the way. So you went about 40 minutes without giving up another one. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We played well. Thought our coaches had it on the defensive side, had a great plan. Our kids took it to heart and executed it well against a team that had been running for about 200 yards a game.
Well, that again, a recap of the Rangers' win over East Central. We're coming up at a break. Up next, this week's Senior Moments and Little Men. On Inside Rangers Football, we're coming right back.
carpooling with Coach. You're up early to coach those Rangers, and we're up early to make great smiles. What a great idea.
I agree. You guys do the driving. Gives me a little time to watch some game film.
You mind if we play a little bit of music this morning? Hey, Coach, that was so much fun. What time should we be here to pick you up?
About the time the Rangers wore red.
Hey, Rangers fans! Have you joined the Rangers Network? If not, now's the time. It's easy and free to subscribe. Get your phones out. Text the word Rangers to 42828 to stay in touch with all the latest Rangers news. Want that again? Text the word Rangers to 42828. Go Rangers!
Welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. Now, at this time of the show, we're going to kick things over to our very own Emily Wick, who has this week's Senior Moments.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Brant. I am here with Scott, Larry, and Connor. And guys, before we get started, if y'all would get out your phone and text your mama and tell her you love her. Okay, guys, I have a super delicious big challenge for you. I want to see who can blow the biggest bubble. You can use as much gum as you want, and go. It's a pretty big piece of gum you've got going, Scott. All right, Scott, can you tell me how much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
A woodchuck could chuck how much wood a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Wow, that was absolutely impressive, Scott. Good answer. Larry, if you can be anything you want to be, what are you going to do?
If I wanted to be anything, what would I do? Be a professional football player.
Well, that's a good, yeah. What position?
Corner.
Quarterback. Who would you play for?
The Dallas Cowboys.
There you go.
Bring him some help. There you go.
Connor, if you were to pick a cartoon character that would best represent you, which one would it be?
Donald Duck!
And why would it be Donald Duck?
I shoot him!
I don't know if I want you to. Scott, picture it. You're late to practice. A good 30 minutes late. What is Coach Hill going to say to you?
He's probably going to give me a little lecture on being accountable and being responsible to the team. And then probably send me on a jog or something, take a couple laps, something like that. So yeah, not necessarily the best day. If I'm running 30 minutes late, that's a bad day. That's a bad day.
He's going to get you.
Yes.
Yeah. Larry's got sugar all over his face. Larry, who is your favorite superhero?
Iron Man.
Iron Man, that is a good one. He's a favorite around my house too. Why is it Iron Man?
He can fly and shoot a laser or whatever
Technically,
out of his hands.
since I'm being a nerd here, technically it's just a heated piece of plasma.
Really?
Yes, basically that's what it is. Basically, fireball, fireball, fireball.
I heard Iron Man's being replaced by a 15-year-old girl.
What?
They're changing out the actors.
I heard this too.
That's
a
what
little
the news
heartbreaking.
is. So is that still gonna be your favorite character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still. Is it still going to be Iron Man though?
Iron Woman.
Is Iron Woman going to be the new name?
Get back with us for more.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. When y'all are ready to shoot. Not yet, Connor. Everybody's got to get chewed first. Not yet. Scott's still breaking us down. Scott, I noticed you went for a really big piece of gum. Oh, you actually got the entire roll. So how is that plan working out so far?
Working all right. It's really juicy. It's incredible. The texture. I'm kind of an all-in type of guy, you know. You don't go half the box. You don't make it halfway. You go all the way. I'm still working. Patience. I'm still working on chewing this thing down. It's gonna take a couple hours.
Boys, how does NASA organize a party? They plan it. Get it? Plan it.
You use your teeth to put the gum on your tongue like this. And you just blow air.
Scott, you really don't have a blow bubble?
So what do? You spread it out real thin?
And then you kind of hold it in your teeth. You kind of pull it up and then blow.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Aren't you ready for more knock knock jokes?
That's a good one. Oh, Larry's got a good one. That was a nice, impressive bubble. Good job.
So you're a bubble expert, apparently?
Apparently, I'm quite the gum fanatic. So.
How many packs per week do you go through? Or is it more pieces per week? You know, how do you...
I kind of try to keep it.
20? Is that like the Costco size in 1 week?
I go through probably 3 packs a week at least.
The verdict is down. 20 packs a week.
All right, guys. Thanks. Coach, Brant, back to you.
Put your guns up. Go Rangers.
Thanks, Emily. One of the players featured there, the one that was trying to get all that gum in his mouth, Scott Welch. Actually, an interesting story on this football team.
Well, he does a lot of things for us. Plays wide receiver, kicks some. This summer at Boys State, I think he was elected governor, president of the whole congregation. So, the future governor of Texas, hopefully he'll remember when he's making his speeches one day, take the gum out of his mouth.
I'm willing to bet, by the way, if that happens, that clip is going to be shown at some point during his candidacy.
Probably will by his opponent in the campaign season.
Well, now seems like an opportune time to kick things to Little Men, and this week, Coach, working on running plays. Yeah, I think we're going to feature the counter play, which is pretty timely. It was one of our best plays the other night. Popped it for a touchdown and some big gains. So let's see what Coach Touton has to say about the counter. All right.
Today on the Little Men segment, we're going to talk about the counter play, or some people call it the GT play. We actually start the flow to one side and then go back to the other side with power or GT blocking. To explain this on the Little Men, I've brought in Coach Robert Touton, been here a number of years as our offensive line coach. He's going to take us through that play, and then we'll go look at it in the game tape situation.
All right, like Coach Hill said, it's a power play, so we're going to add guys at the point of attack. Play side, we're going to run the play to the right. The center is going to block away. The guard and tackle are going to block down. It's just a gap play there. The backside guard then will pull and trap the defensive end. The backside tackle is going to step and pull, and he'll pull up on the first gap he can get into. He'll pull up on the play side linebacker. This back, it's a counter play because he'll start the flow away from the actual play, and then he'll turn and he'll get up in the hole behind the blocking.
So there it is with the Little Men. Let's go watch the Rangers in action with the counter play. Here's a few clips from our spring training last May, and we're going to run this counter play that we're talking about to the left. So Coach Touton, show us what we're doing here.
Yes, sir. You can see the guard and the tackle play side on the left side. They're gapping down. The backside guard is pulling and trapping into the hole. He'll trap the defensive end. And the backside tackle runs through the hole and reams the hole and then blocks the play side linebacker.
Big crease for our running back. He rips off about an 8-10 yard gain. From the end zone, I think you get a better look. What do we got here, Coach?
You can see the double down by the left guard and left tackle. Here comes the right guard. He pulls and traps that defensive end. And then the backside tackle, he's searching that linebacker, fits on him, opens a big hole for our back.
Good looking play. I think that gave you a good look at it. We got another one, I think, from the spring as well, just from the side. Left guard pulling. He's blocking out toward the sideline. The left tackle's pulling in his hip pocket up through the hole. Nice hole there, big hole for our running back. And he's able to get off to the right side there and almost get it in the end zone, gets it down inside the 10-yard line. The counter play at Smithson Valley. Thanks, Coach Touton, for sharing that with us. And now let's go to Ranger Trivia.
This week at Rangers Trivia, Smithson Valley put up 65 points in Friday's win over East Central, the second time this season the Rangers have scored 60 or more. Through 4 games, the Rangers are averaging 39 points per game and are on pace to score 390 in the regular season. What's the team record for points scored in the regular season? Is the answer A, 397 points, B, 425 points, or C, 463 points? The answer is C, 463 points, a record set by the 2013 team, which scored 50 points or more 4 times on its way to an undefeated regular season, going 10-0. So yes, there again, the trivia. That 2013 team scored 463 points in the regular season, an average of over 46 points per game. Right now, this year's team is averaging 39 points per game. And Coach, you've already eclipsed 60 points or more twice. You've only done that once before. That was back in 2007. So right now, offensively, you're playing pretty good football.
Well, a little erratic, first week and then 2 weeks kind of up and down and then a bounce back week. So, we don't get too fired up about records or averages or compare it to other teams, but it's nice to know that we can be both explosive and ball control, and we'll need to keep that up.
Again, the Rangers are on a bye this week. We're going to talk more about that and the 27-6A district as a whole coming up next, right here on Inside Rangers Football.
This November, vote for a man who knows how to be an American in America for Americans. Vote for Coach Hill for President of the United States. He's not afraid of anything.
And then the ninjas come out of the forest.
Ninjas?
Who wouldn't vote for a president who had ninjas in their video?
But I don't want to be the president.
But you're from Texas, Coach, and that makes you a shoo-in. I'll make sure to put that in the video.
But it doesn't matter, because I don't want...
I know! We should get John Wayne to be in your video.
John Wayne?
I can hear it now. The new president of the United States of America is...
Whoa. I just have to say that if I was president, I couldn't coach football anymore.
Well then, I'm officially resigning as your campaign manager and vice president.
Okay then.
Coach, how tall do you think you have to be to run for president?
This political ad was paid for by Wick Productions. Watching a video is just better than reading stuff.
Welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. Smithson Valley again is on a bye this week, but so is the entire 27-6A district. It's a product of an 8-team league. Evenly dispersed means everybody has the same off week. So, Coach, you look at the way things have played out so far. We're still early in the part of the district part of the season, but we've hit the halfway point of 2016. As you look at how your fellow teams are doing in this league, how do you think things have shaped out so far?
Well, fairly predictable. It's a little bit of a bloodbath. Everybody's getting after each other pretty good. And, with an even number of teams in the league at 8, 4 teams going to win, 4 teams going to lose every week. Mm-hmm. And some of them are going to be really good ball clubs that lose. And so, we've adopted the same mantra that we've had before, but maybe it's more fitting even this year than ever. You just kind of need to get this game this week. Don't worry about next week. That's going to be real tough too. Don't worry about last week. You did good, you won, but you better move on. And, everybody seems to be playing real good football. Steele and Clemens, of course, are undefeated right now. And I guess us and Judson and maybe New Braunfels have a loss each. So it's pretty crowded. It's going to separate, though, in the next 5 weeks. And one game at a time, and hope you're one of the ones left standing.
You look at overall records, 3 teams already have 4 wins this season. And half of the district has a winning record, and one would argue that had you had a chance to play your opener, you would make a 5th team with a potential 3-2 record. You mentioned things kind of a little bit predictable. Has anybody surprised you so far?
Not really. Of course, I haven't seen everybody. We've played 2 teams, and then we get a little bit of trade tape, and so you get to glance at some of the other teams. But Clemens scoring a lot of points, got a playmaker or 2 there, so that's certainly not surprising. Canyon and New Braunfels have stepped up their level of play, so that's not surprising. Wagner has been very explosive on points, so there seems to be some high-powered offenses throughout the league, and that puts pressure on your defense. And I think the team or teams that play the best defense down the stretch are probably going to be the ones that get in.
When district realignment came to be this past January, there wasn't much change. The only change was the addition of East Central, so there's a lot of familiarity within this district. As you look at the way things have played out these past couple of years, how does that familiarity factor into some of the preparation for these games?
Well, it's double-edged sword. You know a little bit about them because you've played them before, been around them before, but they know a lot about you too. So there's very few surprises, and so it'll boil down to execution. We do what we believe in. They're going to do what they believe in, and all these teams have confidence because most of them have had winning programs for a long time. So. Sometimes when you cut through it always just goes down to let's do this thing. Let's see if we can do it a little bit better than they do. That's tough to do with this many good programs.
And the funny thing, too, is that East Central may as well have been a district opponent for you the past couple of years anyway, playing them in a home-and-home in 2014 and 2015. And you go back even further a little bit more, and you would play non-district games against Wagner and against Judson, sometimes against Clemens. So, in terms of familiarity, the coaches, them very well.
Yeah, there's very few secrets, and that's comforting and disturbing. Sometimes you want a game plan, you want to maybe add this wrinkle, add that wrinkle, or hey, there's something we did 3 or 4 years ago, maybe we can dust that off, maybe that can help us. They probably know about it. So it's still going to be some teenage young men going against other teenage young men on a Friday night, and so it's an execution game.
So the Rangers, they are taking a week off this week with a bye, as are the rest of the teams in 27-6A. But who's not taking a week off is Dr. Hembry, Dr. Ferris. Let's kick things over to them right now.
Week 6, strange week, restful week. Kind of downtime for everybody to heal and recover. Coach Hill and his guys getting back in the swing of things next week. Gives us a little time to talk about us.
Yeah.
I'm Tyler Ferris.
And I'm Megan Hembry.
And we're Ferris Orthodontics. We are local friendly orthodontists right down the highway, Highway 46. We love this community, we love the football, we love Smithson Valley High School.
We just love supporting y'all. So our motto is we serve, you smile, and that's kind of what we're all about.
Coach Hill's got the football covered, we've got the teeth covered.
Yep, we'll give it back to y'all. Line them up.
It'll be a good week for us. We can rest and recharge a little bit. Meanwhile, try to hone in our skills, and then we'll be ready to jump back in next week.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Inside Rangers Football. Again, Smithson Valley is off this week. Their next opponent 2 Fridays from now as they take on the Wagner Thunderbirds at Ranger Stadium. For Coach Hill, I'm Brant Freeman. This has been Inside Rangers Football. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.